Today, I want to share with you how I'm trying to reimagine the future of education through food. I'm not going to be talking about food education or nutrition, so don't expect me to talk about how food affects our body, our mind. There are already great organizations and people that are doing this, and great talks on that. You can watch the one on Jamie Oliver, on his food revolution, or Sam Cass, Obama chef. But here, I'm not for that. I'm here for something else. I'm here because I want to revolutionize the way we learn. But why do I want to do this at all? So let's take a step back and come with me in this time machine. I'm going to ask you to enter it, and it will take you to your days back at school. What do you see? I see this. I don't know about you, but I remember sitting in a very uncomfortable chair, looking at the blackboard, and seeing the teacher write some math formulas which I really didn't understand, and then sit for another hour and watch another teacher talk about the French Revolution. Then I would go home, I would learn everything by heart, so that the next day I could go back to school and get a top mark on that exam. But now, what do I remember from all of this? All of this time I spent memorizing what the teacher said. I remember little, very little. And now I don't want you to feel sorry about me and say, oh, poor Bea, she doesn't remember anything about what she studies, so that is why she wants to now revolutionize the way we learn. So I'm not here because of that. My problem is not an exception. Many people do not remember or memorize what they learned at school. This is because of the way we are learning. This is not only inefficient at an individual level. This is very boring and inefficient at an individual level, but if we look at a macro level, look what the World Economic Forum says. They pointed out what top 10 skills we will need in the future to thrive in the job market. So we will need to be creative people, we would need to be good team players, managers, we will need to know how to solve complex problems and have emotional intelligence. So understand others, how they feel, what we can do to change how they feel. So do you think a system that looks like that, the one I just pointed out with the very uncomfortable chair and looking at the teacher, do you think that is going to build the future talents we need? Do you think that will build people that are super creative, empathetic, that know how to solve great problems? I really doubt it. And I think this is so wrong, because we are spending a lot of time and money in this type of education that is not bringing us what we need in the future. So I love this sentence, very used by the Institute for the Future in Palo Alto. The future is already here. It's just unevenly distributed. So I started to think, there must be other ways of doing things. Maybe they're not here, they're not in Spain, they're not in Europe. I haven't maybe heard of them, but it must be out there. So what I did is go around the world to explore who was doing things in a different way around the world. I left Bologna, I went to Amsterdam, Boston, New York, Silicon Valley, Kyoto, Shanghai, Singapore, Seoul, to get some inspiration, to understand who was doing things in a different way, who was helping people to really learn and enjoy that process of learning. Do you know something very surprising I found? I found that these innovators, these people that were having their local roots of change, they were using food many times. They were using food as a tool to learn and teach. So I started thinking about this hypothesis. Could food be the most powerful tool to learn? I wanted to put up an experiment myself. I don't know how happy my parents were about this, because I studied international relations, so all of this crazy thing about going into food and cooking, maybe they were a bit disappointed, but I became a gastro diplomat in the end, so same thing. But anyways, so going back to this experiment I wanted to do as a hobby, I wanted to see what kids could learn through food, through cooking. I wanted to see if they could learn languages, international culture, and my surprise was that they did not only learn, but they loved it. I have never seen those kids be so happy in going to after-school classes. But I wanted to bring this to the next level. So I met Sara Roversi, the founder of the Future Food Institute, and together I shared with her my vision, and together we put up the Food Innovation Kids Lab, in which kids were given food-based design challenges, and they had to describe and work on these challenges to empower those innate skills they had. So in these challenges, they got, for example, how might we create a snack for schools that is yummy and healthy at the same time? The first thing they had to do was share the superpower they had with the others. So this was super useful because it could help people distribute their tasks among the group according to what they were good at, to what they were passionate about. Then they would start brainstorming how could they design this super healthy and delicious snack. And then they would go out and interview users, so other kids like them to understand their needs, what they would like to have. They would come back to the prototyping room, create that delicious snack, go out again, test it, and come back and present it to the others. So not only did they learn how to make these super nutritious and delicious and fancy snacks, the most important takeaway of these workshops was that they got to exercise their creativity. They got to work in teams, know how to manage and distribute tasks, know how to do this complex problem solving from a cross-disciplinary perspective. Do you remember all of these skills? These were the ones that the World Economic Forum says we will need in the future to thrive in the job market. That is why I want to leave you with this sentence. I want to leave you with this sentence from Picasso that has really inspired me. Every child is born an artist. The difficult thing is to remain an artist once we grow up. So my interpretation of this sentence is that we all have a creative genius in each one of us. We all have the skills we need to flourish and to thrive in life. We just need the appropriate space and environment for them to come out. So I hope that after this talk, after me being here looking at you, you are not thinking, but why is this girl here and sharing her experiences, sharing what she has done? Why is this antidisciplinary at all? So if we look at the MIT's description of what antidisciplinary is, it's something that is unique, that is impactful, and that is magic. I believe that using food as a tool to learn, to interact with others, to engage with the world, I believe that is antidisciplinary. I believe, like TED Talks, it is magic. It can inspire us to do things in a different way. Thank you.